Hey everyone, it's Peter, obviously, and this is Kona. Hi. He is going to be joining us for this video. Definitely this one has gotten me through a lot in the past week. But yeah, I am making this video with some less than positive news, or really good news, depending on how you look at it, which is that in a couple days on Tuesday, oh, see, the dog is moving the phone. In a couple days, I'm going to be staying at an inpatient treatment center for addiction. I'm going to be staying there for a month, and yeah, which to people that know me personally, that might come as a surprise because I definitely dealt with alcohol and drug addiction before, and I was actually sober for like a year and a half. And excuse me, I relapsed during this quarantine about, I would say, like 3 months ago. But because of all the booze and stuff, my memory's a little shot. But yeah, so I mean, people that know me already know all this shit, but I'm a performance artist and I do curating nightlife shows, and because of the lockdown and coronavirus, I lost a lot of those shows. I lost the opportunity to book live shows and to work in nightlife, and I started to deal with depression and feelings of just like purposelessness. Like, I began to really question and struggle with my purpose here on this planet, because I had found performance art and curating to be like, I don't know, I guess my primary vessel of spreading, meaning to other people, and and advocating for like other artists that I believe in, and that brought so much meaning and joy to my life. And I just got really depressed, and I don't know, I was just dealing with feelings of purposelessness, and I started to entertain the notion that I could possibly drink again. And before I got sober, I was a super heavy drinker. I would find myself in really shitty situations, getting kicked out of places, embarrassing myself, putting myself in really risky situations and very risky sexual situations, putting myself in danger and other people, and so being sober, especially, with alcohol, was the best thing for me. And I don't know, I guess I had been sober for so long that I started to get this like sick curiosity about drinking again, like I started to, I don't know, it felt like the longer I went on being sober, it was like the more curious I got about it, and the more it was like, ooh, this temptation arose, because it wasn't so, the consequences of drinking that I had experienced, it wasn't fresh in my mind anymore. And I did genuinely want to have like a healthy relationship with alcohol, where it wasn't so restrictive, and it was like not this like, it wasn't like Satan, if you're a Christian, it's not like the devil that you can never talk about. So I genuinely wanted to have a healthy relationship with it, but because of the lockdown and stuff, I spiraled very quickly into drinking every single day. And I wasn't drinking one glass of wine or one beer. I would drink an entire 6-pack or an entire bottle of tequila or an entire bottle of wine, sometimes 2 bottles of wine even, and it's just been really hard. And I guess I'm just wanting to publicize the fact that I'm going to rehab, just so that people know that there are these resources out there. I'm lucky enough to be under 26. I'm 24 right now, so I'm still insured under my family until I'm 26. So that was actually a big like incentive for me to go now, because it's like, oh, you better go now while you still have insurance. But like, Yeah, I mean, there are these amazing resources out there for us to use, and I feel like people don't really discuss it as much as we should, you know? And I was a little bit afraid to publicize this just because of like, what are people gonna think about me? But personally, I think that vulnerability is one of the most admirable qualities that a person can have. So if someone is gonna judge me for like going to rehab and saying I need help, then that's just on them, you know? It says more about my character, in my opinion, that I'm willing to be open about it. But yeah, so I spiraled into drinking every single day, and um, one of the worst consequences of it was that I had this new relationship. I had met this really cool guy, and just my drinking kind of ruined the relationship because I would hide it from him because he had just gotten sober and he loved the fact that I was sober, and I didn't have the guts to tell him that I had relapsed, you know? And I started hiding it, and I started drinking and not telling him, and then he would notice that I was drunk, and it just became a situation where I wasn't being honest with him about certain things because I felt so badly about it, and I was afraid to be judged and stuff. And that's just another thing that's so bad with alcohol, is that I feel like it kind of changes people's personalities, or at least it like impairs your judgment to the point where you do things that you wouldn't do otherwise, you know? And I'm just sick of I'm sick of hurting myself. I'm sick of hurting people around me. Like, I'm sick of people being worried about me, and I'm sick of like misrepresenting my own character, you know? Because that's what ended up happening. Like, I would do things that I wouldn't normally do, and then I would have to live with the guilt and shame of it, you know? And, you know, I don't think I'm a victim for it. I am trying to take responsibility for everything I did, which is why I need to do this rehab. But yeah, like, just, it just really sucks because with this person, like, I really thought that like we were in love, you know? I thought that like he loved me, and I part of me really thought that he would kind of be there for me in my time of need, you know? And he wasn't. And I mean, that's just a big lesson for me, is that, I mean, it sounds cynical, but at the end of the day, like, the only person you can rely on is yourself. And just because you are vulnerable with someone, and just because you share so much of your life with someone, doesn't mean that they'll do the same in return. And yeah, that just sucks. But yeah, so I'm going in on Tuesday, and it just like sucks because it's just it's such a like, it creates such strong cognitive dissonance to do something inherently harmful to your body, to be aware that it's harmful, and to continue to engage in that behavior. And I'm sick of it, you know? But especially with this breakup that just happened, I've been feeling like, just kind of like what am I doing here on this planet, you know? And I'd be lying if I said that I haven't thought about like hurting myself before, you know? And I feel like more people like need to talk about this because everyone's really struggling right now, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that has descended into addiction of some sort, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who thinks they need help, you know? And it's important that we talk about this, you know, as a community, or whatever, just as human beings, you know? What else is there really to say? But yeah, I guess I just feel like it's important to make this public, just because I feel like it could potentially open up the doors for other people to admit that they need help too, you know? So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I like to make like a vlog series about my experiences there, because You know, I'm sure that there are going to be pros and cons to the program, just as there are to any type of program. But no matter what, it's definitely going to be a life-changing experience. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, I think I'm just sick of having like this monkey on my back, you know? Like addiction, sometimes it feels like demonic possession almost, like it literally feels as if there's a voice inside my head telling me to drink, and I have to actively suppress that voice. And it was easy before because I had shows, I had work, I had this and that stuff I was doing in the public, and like I guess when that's taken away, you really are confronted with like who you are as a person. And I began to notice like how flawed I am, and all the, you know, subconscious sort of trauma and childhood trauma that I hadn't dealt with, and I suppressed it with alcohol, and it just got out of control, you know? So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for now. If anyone has any questions about like the specific program I'm going to, the specific center, and like how to even, you know, go about checking yourself into something like that, how the insurance works, like please message me with questions, message me with support. I mean, honestly, I could use some kind words right now because I mean, this is probably the hardest like mental thing, the mental struggle I've gone through ever. So I could really use people's support right now, and I want to give that support in return. So yeah, I hope everyone's having a great week or weekend that's starting now. And yeah, I'll make another video when I have more rehab info.